Hi there, this is John from Pino Comics.
This is the other John from Pino Comics.
And we just wanted to warn you before you tune into our quite excellent show that we may or may not use, what type of term would you use for the language, John?
Swearing with flair.
Swearing with flair.
Colorful language.
Colorful language.
Or just plain out, I don't know.
Gutter talk.
Gutter talk, there we go.
You've been warned. Listen in.
Is that now?
It's now. Do it now. Yeah.
Is it now? It's now.
Well, welcome back to Pino Comics, episode 3.
I was gonna do that.
I know you're gonna do it. You were jelly necking over there.
Go ahead.
All right, we're gonna do a episode today. It's gonna be the summer movie preview. We're gonna bring you the best blockbusters, just everything you're gonna want to go see between May and August of this year.
No.
And unfortunately, John's right, because we just sat down and watched about 15 trailers, and I realized I'm going to be spending a lot of time at home this year.
That's a lot of watching old stuff, I think.
Oh, yeah, there's nothing original. There's maybe one thing original we'll talk about, 2 possibly.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Let's start with a good one.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2?
Okay. That's good enough.
That looks good to me. And that comes out actually May 5th, which, as of recording, is the end of this week, which is one day before what, John?
Free Comic Book Day.
Every year you should get out to Free Comic Book Day. But remember, when you do go out to Free Comic Book Day, I'm sorry I'm laughing. John just looked like something bit him on the ball sack.
I hurt myself.
He hurt himself somehow. If you get a chance and you do decide to go out on a Free Comic Book Day, make sure you buy a couple things too. So
please.
Don't just go and collect the free books. That's goonish behavior.
Yeah, you don't want to be that guy.
Don't be that guy. So anyways,
shop till you drop.
Shop till you drop. So the day before Free Comic Book Day, which is May 6th, May 5th, we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 hitting theaters, and we just watched I think it was the first trailer for it.
If it was, it's not one I've seen before.
Okay, that was the first trailer, because the second trailer does have the Kurt Russell character in it as well.
Okay,
so the first trailer...
Well, then one I've seen, I don't know who was in it, but... It's the first one I've seen that had the Fox on the Run.
Yes, Sweet's Fox on the Run.
Yes.
Because if you didn't realize, we're going to have another 70s rockpalooza of a soundtrack, which is one of the things that is endearing about that franchise.
It made it work.
Yeah,
it was good. It was a good movie. It was entertaining.
Absolutely enjoyed it
for a bunch of C and D list characters.
You're being polite.
Okay, E and F list.
Yeah.
characters.
Why don't we hit G?
Okay, Groot.
Why don't we hit G?
Groot.
Yeah, Groot.
Yeah, that's true. Groot. No one knew who Groot was. Groot goes back to the 50s. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Groot was like one of the monster characters, right? In Marvel, he was kind of like along with Man-Thing and stuff like that.
Someone resurrected him in the 70s as another villain, but
he
made periodic appearances throughout the Marvel universe.
Rocket Raccoon was created by Bill Mantlo, correct? I remember as a kid having like issue 2 of the 4-issue miniseries that was out in the 80s, and I don't think I ever read it. I think I just had it, and I didn't understand, like, well, what is this spacefaring raccoon all about?
Raccoon, man.
Yeah.
He was a big hit.
He was a big hit, and the movie was a big hit.
Yes.
That movie 2 or 3 years ago came out of left field. And it was the litmus test for characters like Ant-Man, which didn't do as well. But if you can make the Guardians of the Galaxy movie well and make it stick, you can make a movie out of almost any character in the Marvel pantheon.
And I had to wonder how they got that one greenlit in the first place. The characters were not well known.
No.
In comics lore, it's a different team. I mean, this team, yes, has appeared in the comics and prior to the movie, but before then, it was a futuristic team. It was a completely different team,
right,
set in the far future. So for anybody to go the movies and think they're going to get some kind of crazy superhero movie, it was not. It was on a different level completely. And then again, characters that were hardly ever seen or known.
Not just characters, but pretty much at the point actors. I mean, Chris Pratt. Yeah. That was Chris Pratt's kind of, other than playing Andy Dwyer on Parks and Rec and some of his future. I mean, the Lego Movie and Jurassic World, that was all based on his success as Star-Lord, as Peter Quill.
Who saw that coming?
No, nobody saw that coming. He didn't see that coming.
I don't think anybody did.
No, I mean, he was, he's first to admit he's kind of like a fat guy from, he's kind of the chubby guy who got fit and ended up in this movie. And to kids, Star-Lord is as big of a character as Spider-Man is,
Weird.
And that's not how it is when you're reading comic books. Star-Lord, I'm a huge comic reader. I don't think I've ever read a Guardians comic. I remember remember when people would, because people would come to me and say, what's this Thor movie? What do you think the story's mean? And I could talk about that. People would be like, what do you think about the Guardians? I'm like, I don't know. I've never read the Guardians before. I'm going into this movie fresh face. And the first movie, I knew I was in love immediately because that first scene where he's walking through the, I guess you could say the cave, searching for that and he's playing Come and Get Your Love and dancing around. And just that whole bit, and the group of people they have together playing the Guardians, and even the voice actors, Bradley Cooper playing Rocket and Vin Diesel playing Groot, it worked perfectly. And even supporting roles, Yondu, Michael Rooker, fantastic. I loved it.
I always get this guy's name wrong. John C. Reilly?
Oh, John C. Reilly, yeah. John C. Reilly playing Richard Rider.
Is that who he was playing? Richard Rider?
Yep.
No kidding.
Yep.
How did I miss that?
I'm 99.9% sure. If I'm wrong, send us a line. But I think he's definitely playing Nova Corps.
Yeah.
And I thought he played Richard Rider.
Oh, all right.
If I'm incorrect, then just hit us with that. And then you had the great character actor Peter Serafinowicz, the gentleman who was on Spaced with Simon Pegg, and Serafinowicz. He's on the current Tick series, and he was also the voice of Darth Maul in The Phantom Menace, playing the Nova Corps, kind of the security officer who couldn't. They call themselves the Guardians of the Galaxy. They're a bunch of a-holes.
What I like about him too is he's got a great voice. He's got a great presence. But then he does these weird roles all the time. He
actually, funnily enough, I realized this from watching stuff backwards. So I saw Guardians a couple years ago, and in one of the last seasons of Parks and Rec, they go over to England, and the whole reason they did it logistically was because Chris Pratt was in England filming Guardian, and they had to send off his character for a while. So there's a couple episodes where they're in England, and Andy, the character Chris Pratt played, ends up working for he's like a duke, but he's basically as dumb as Andy is, and he's played by Peter Serafinowicz. So Sarah, I can't say that last name. Serafinowicz. He plays.
Good for him for not ever changing it.
Yes. No. You know what? That's right. That's damn right. He didn't go with like Peterson or something like that, like so many people do. Tom Cruise. Cruise ain't your last name, motherfucker. We know that.
Peterson.
Peterowitz. So we're talking about the sequel, though, and in all honesty, the previews show nothing of it. It's just it's a roster. It's basically a roster. You got Baby Groot. You got
they're there. You know they're into something deep and stupid again, but we don't really know what it is.
Nope, and I'm okay with that because. Especially, it proved itself today after watching 10 to 15 trailers or whatever we watched. 90% of them tell you way too much.
Yeah, way too much.
Like, okay, well, you've given me the bones of the story. Now all I'm going to see is the action sequences or whatever fills it in.
Right.
So I'm definitely going to go see that. You?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I like the first one, so why not?
It looks like fun. All right, so that's May 5th. And we do want to mention, too, that the one thing we do know about that is Kurt Russell, the great Kurt Russell, who... In the last 10 years, Kurt Russell kind of disappeared. He's not
getting old.
He's getting old. Man. He is getting old. But you know what? It's really great. Actually, he's playing Eagle the Living Planet, who apparently is Peter Quill's father. I saw a picture on Facebook, like a little meme, but it was quite funny. And it had a picture of Chris Pratt on set sitting on like one of those director's chairs, and Zoe Saldana on set next to him, and then Kurt Russell on set next to him. And it says generation gap. And Chris Pratt and Zoe Saldana are sitting on their director's chairs playing with their phones, and Kurt Russell's asleep. Like he's taking a nap in character because he's 70 years old probably. And that's what you do when in between takes and you're 70 years old. The other kids are playing like Minesweeper, and
you'll find out, kid.
Someday you'll know. I was in big trouble in Little China. If you ever heard of that? Now I'm Lopan. All right, so jumping around, June 23rd. I'm going to give you a hint, John, as to what movie this is. This is a franchise now, a movie franchise you're not a fan of, but you're a fan of the Marvel comic. Again, another Marvel comic property.
I can't wait.
And a fan of the toys, fan of the cartoon. And here's your hint as to what we got coming up. It is. Do you know what my terrible impression was, John? He's laughing.
Oh, it gets sillier.
Yeah. We're laughing extra hard because we tried to record the show before we had a sound issue, and I did this once already. So this is actually for you, audience. This whole bit is for you.
I'm just going to say it because I can't even come up with it. Yeah, it's a Transformer sound.
Transformers.
It's a Transformer transforming.
Transformers 5.
It's
The Last Night.
You're doing Reflector.
Yeah, that was my sound wave. That was my sound wave. Megatron.
Oh, I know too much about
Who was your favorite Transformer?
Personally?
I know it's Optimus Prime, but besides Optimus Prime.
Taking away Optimus and Megatron, I would say for the Autobots is probably Brawn.
Who is he?
Brawn was a Jeep.
Brawn was a Jeep. Those are my dogs in the background, by the way. Don't mind them.
Brawn was one of the Jeeps, yeah.
Okay.
Not the Army Jeep. That's Hound.
Okay, that was Hound, yeah.
For the Decepticons, or the original Decepticons, Thundercracker.
Thundercracker. Like, if you had to pick out of the 3 jets, you picked the most generic one, right? Because Starscream was like the brainy Smurf of the Transformers, always like being a bitch, and then Skywarp could actually. Right, Skywarp was the one that could warp them to different he could. What did Thundercracker do?
He made a lot of noise.
Oh, what a stupid character to like.
It was just.
No offense.
Quick Kick.
Quick Kick, yeah. We'll talk more about Quick Kick later. We met a gentleman at a con today that liked Quick Kick, so we'll talk about that later on the show.
Oh, God. We should have taken a picture of that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Transformers 5, last night, it appears...
Sure it's 5 now.
This is 5.
You're positive.
Yeah, because you said 6 last time. And
I'm pretty sure there's one in between.
This is 5. Mark Wahlberg is back to be the new Shia LaBeouf again, I guess.
Mark Wahlberg is back to pay for his next home.
Yeah, really. Yeah, Mark Wahlberg got a summer house in Hawaii and hooked up with Michael Bay to make a 3-hour celluloid dump, which this movie is going to be. This trailer has more going on in it than I can imagine. There's so much stuff. Apparently, the Transformers.
It's all CGI.
The Transformers were around during
even
the.
Josh Duhamel.
Josh Duhamel's not even in the movie. He's just CGI. So somehow we have Transformers back in the medieval days. They were knights apparently.
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was a nice voiceover by
Anthony Hopkins.
Oh,
right, wasn't it Anthony Hopkins?
Or one of the characters he plays.
Well, whoever he plays, yeah. He plays Sir Alfred Fuddleduddy, who is a Transformers expert.
Yes, Clarice.
I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti. That's a great movie. That's a great movie. It's not coming out this summer, but you can watch it whenever you want. It's on DVD and Blu-ray.
And now that Jonathan Demme
just passed away, so you should watch that movie. We're going to break away from summer movies for a minute. If you want to see that holds up. That's a great movie.
Yeah. It's not one of my favorites, but yeah,
I love that movie.
It's a much more solid movie than Transformers '95.
Yeah, and one of my favorite parts of that movie is that everybody loves Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal Lecter, and I agree, he's great. But there's the hidden gem in that movie is I can't think of the actor's name. The guy who plays Buffalo Bill. He is so creepy in that movie.
Oh God, I just read an article with him too.
Ted something.
Levine.
Ted Levine.
Yeah.
Yes, it is Ted Levine because he was on Monk. He was the captain on Monk.
He's done a lot of other things, a lot of character stuff. But my favorite thing he ever did, and he didn't get a credit for it, and it was a really bad movie with it was with the kids. They're getting chased around by the crazed trucker.
Oh, Joyride. Oh,
yeah.
Candy Cane.
Yes,
that was his voice.
That's him.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. That was a good movie.
He's got this weird throaty sound to him that just it was every time he said anything in that movie, it just creeped you out.
Yeah.
Right here.
My favorite line in the Silence of My favorite line in the Silence of the Lambs is at the end of the movie when Jodie Foster's character Clarice Starling when she figures out who he is and she goes to his house and there's this great scene where she's at the door and he's basically he's playing along with her and she's questioning him on stuff and she asked him about the senator's daughter who's been missing throughout the whole movie and he goes, I think I read about that. She was a great big fat person, wasn't she? And he is just like, he's so creepy. He's so creepy. So I'm sorry.
He's got a great voice.
He has got a great voice. If you've never seen Joyride, it's Paul Walker.
Is that right?
And Steve Zahn.
Steve Zahn, yeah.
And it's one of those little movies that it's a cult classic. I think
it's got its moments.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. It's definitely better than its reputation probably precedes. People probably see them. Candy cane. Well, I mean, then you've got the whole scene in Silence of the Lambs where he's dancing with his junk in between his legs, and saying the creed, "Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me." Like, what are you? Like, this guy, he truly was one of cinema's greatest creeps ever. So yeah, Jonathan Demme passed away. He made Silence of the Lambs. Check it out if you've never seen it.
So much better than Transformers.
Really.
Next chapter.
The night that you're gonna go see Transformers 58, and you're like, you're thinking, you're putting the money together, and you're saying, okay, I'm gonna take my wife, I'm gonna take maybe one of my kids, I'm gonna get popcorn. So you're gonna need a loan. Fuck all that. Save your money. Tell your kid to go in the other room and watch something appropriate, and just watch Silence of the Lambs with your wife, and play a drinking game. Like every time Ted Levine is creepy as Buffalo Bill, do a shot. Do a shot of Malort. Do a shot of whatever you want to do.
There you go.
You'll be so drunk by the end of that movie you won't know what to do. So Transformers 5, June 23rd, Michael Bay.
Feel free to miss it.
Feel free to miss it, because I'm most likely going to miss it. June 30th, a week later, and I think John could talk on this more than me. The trailer looked okay. I have not. There's been 2 of these movies plus a spinoff. I have not seen any of them. Wildly popular. Despicable Me 3.
Yeah, I wasn't too thrilled at that.
No. He apparently, again, I don't know. Steve Carell plays Gru, who was at one point the world's premier supervillain.
One of them.
And then he became a hero, right?
He adopted some girls and grew a heart.
He grew a heart, so he's not a bad guy anymore.
No, he gave it up.
But now he finds out in the new movie he's got like a ultra rich twin brother. I don't know. I was in and out paying attention on this thing.
They're really scraping the. I mean, they were scraping the bottom of the barrel for part 2.
Yeah. Did you enjoy any of those movies?
I like the first one.
Yeah.
The second one has its moments, but it really doesn't hold a candle to the first one.
What are the Minions? We
don't really know.
Does he make them? Are they?
I thought that I saw in the first movie that he had a way of making them.
Okay.
But then they created the Minions movie, which shows that they've been around since the dawn of time.
Oh, so
they're minions in search of a master,
and he's their master. So they're
presently, yes.
Okay, all right. That's June 30th. That's I'm sure if you've got kids, you're gonna end up going to see that. No, and I'm not going to see that either. No, thank you. So I think that's all I can really say about Despicable Me 3.
Watch the first one. It's fun.
I probably will at some point. Actually, I will say this. A lot of times, I do enjoy a lot of those CGI. The Pixar ones are always great. I've enjoyed a lot of the other ones. Last week, my buddy Rich's 2 daughters, he has several daughters, but 2 of his middle daughters.
Several?
He has one that's 18. He's got a brood. Actually, Rich, who I will say right now, when you listen to the show, our opening riff, Black Sheep Collective, the song Swallow, that's his band. That's his song.
Okay.
His 2 middle daughters, one is 10 and one is 8, recently had their birthdays very close to each other, and me and my wife asked them what they wanted, and they said, take us to a movie and out to dinner. So last week we took them to see, and I dreaded this all day long. I love those kids, but I'm not good with like going to a theater to see something I have no interest in. And it turned out to be pretty good. Boss Baby.
Oh, yeah.
The Boss Baby with Alec Baldwin as a infant who, I'm not going to get all into it, but I'm going to tell you, it was actually a pretty good movie. I was surprised. I left the theater. I chuckled a few times.
A few?
I smiled more than once. And I said to myself, you know what? I should watch stuff like Despicable Me more often, because I'm always like people tell me like Despicable Me, Megamind, and I'm like, I don't want to waste time on that stuff.
Megamind. I watched some of that. I don't think I finished it though.
No. So, anyways, go see Despicable Me. And if you end up having to go see Boss Baby because of a similar situation to mine, you know what? You might enjoy it. It's got a few pretty funny moments in it. This is one. Comes out on May 12th. I am calling this to be the biggest bomb of the summer. King Arthur, Legend of the Sword. Guy Ritchie, who we all know from Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels and Snatch.
Madonna Snatch.
Madonna. I'm leaving that in. So we know Mr. Madonna.
It's ex-Mr. Madonna.
Ex-Mr. Madonna. His career up and down a little bit. He had some luck in the last 2 movies. He made those 2 Sherlock Holmes movies, which did pretty well. I like both of them.
Yep, I did too.
That's what kind of bothers me about this one is I would like, on paper, I would like to like this movie. The trailers were goddamn ridiculous.
I'm not quite sure what to make of it.
I don't. Me either.
It's some kind of King Arthur story, but
it apparently
not the one that we know.
Yeah,
which I guess is fine. I mean, tell a different one.
Tell a different story. It just I don't know if it looks good. Charlie Hunnam of Sons of Anarchy and Pacific Rim, one of my favorites that John hates, but Steve Bissett, the wonderful Steve Bissett, when we interviewed him, ganged up on John with me and said that he...
because I know he likes it.
How did he put it? He said, when I go to a movie, I don't want to see something realistic. I want to see robots fighting other robots or monsters. And so anyways, thank you for that again, Steve. Charlie Hunnam plays basically Arthur, who is going to end up pulling the sword from the stone, as we all know. Jude Law plays the evil king, and Jaemoon Hunsu is in it. He apparently
I'm not sure who he's playing.
He looks not Merlin. Was there even a Merlin in it?
It didn't. It was hard to say because there were so many people that looked like they could be the Merlin character. But
and there's a scene where they're getting attacked by brontosauruses or something like. It looks like the spaghetti theory. They threw all the spaghetti on the wall and whatever stuck they kept. Charlie Hunnam, I understand. He's a chick magnet. Girls are going to go see this thing. He's shirtless, like shadow boxing, and
he's beating on himself.
He's beating on himself, and I remember from Sons of Anarchy, he gets the chicks where they got to go. So I'm sure, but I don't think that will be enough of a factor for girls to want to see a King Arthur movie, and I don't think the trailers are good enough to make guys want to go see this movie. It'll probably end up making $400 million, and I'll be an asshole. But I'm telling you right now, this is the movie.
Who knew that Transformers was going to make the money that it made?
The original Transformers?
Any of them. Look at the continuous sequels they've made and how much money they've made across the planet.
But because the first one was such a hit, I think once.
But imagine even if that one.
Once you grapple on the first one. I think you've got them for several more.
Well, that could be said for anything, but...
Like, what was the last movie you could remember or think of? And I'm sure there are. I'm just asking. That the first one was a huge hit, and the second one came out relatively quickly. And again, I'm not talking about...
relatively quickly.
Because that's the key. Like Sin City, I think, did pretty well, and then 10 years later, nobody heard of the sequel.
Right.
But if you do one and then you do another one within 2 years, how many movies, even if they're subpar, Iron Man 2 is not a very good movie.
But it did better than the first one.
It did better than the first one.
Look at John Wick. Perfect example. The first one really didn't make any money, but it was such a big hit in aftermarket stuff.
Yeah.
Make the second one, bang, huge hit.
I didn't pay much attention.
It made a lot of money.
I want to see it.
Yeah.
I want to see it. I really enjoyed the first one. All right, so
it did. It made quite a bit of money. It made much more than the first one.
Really? Yeah. Well, the first one I think was more
Speed 2.
Fudge you, asshole.
Speed and Speed 2. Let me think.
So we're gonna skip to the next film on our list. We just did King Arthur, which was the.
You think is going to be
my bomb pick.
I have no gauge on that one yet.
No gauge. Here is a no-brainer for moneymaker. We're back to Marvel movies. Spider-Man: Homecoming. How do you feel about that?
I didn't like it.
Didn't like it. What don't you like about it?
You've already got Spider-Man. Everyone knows the Spider-Man story,
and it's not an origin story,
right? And that's part of the problem too. Is that it's so wrapped up with Tony Stark and the whole cinematic Marvel universe now doesn't make any sense to me.
Like I do understand what you're saying. You're almost saying
he's
that
an established character,
right?
We know he's an established character.
So you're saying we don't need all that. We don't need an origin story, but we also don't need to tie it into.
And we don't need to try and fix it. So that's why he wasn't in the Battle of New York or any of that kind of crap.
Right.
So why don't they just leave Spider-Man be and just throw him into it? They don't have to add him in and make him. It's almost like he's subservient to Tony Stark at this point. And I really don't.
The second trailer, which that's the one we saw today, definitely is full of Tony Stark. I mean, there's you've got the little scenes where he's mentoring him, and that's where I expect it. But like, there's the action sequence where the Vulture cuts the ship in half. And there's Tony Stark helping him out. Yeah. And these movies, they're almost starting to become just like Captain America: Civil War. They're not really about the character necessarily that it's about. They're shoehorning other people in. Like the Civil War movie.
Wait until they can get Fantastic Four back.
Yeah.
And they'll just jam all four of those characters in wherever they can.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be good.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go see it because I do like the kid who plays him. I think it's good they finally got a kid.
Yeah, I guess.
It's not Andrew Garfield at 30. It's not Tobey Maguire at 32. I like the idea of
you like Hot Aunt May? Is that what you like? Yeah. You want Hot Aunt May?
It's Marissa Tomei. I have no problem with that. Hey, look, after the fine actress who played her in the Sam Raimi movies, she was physically Aunt May, who I never understood why Aunt May was so fucking old. Like, and even if you read the old Stan Lee Ditko stuff, it's like she can't be his aunt. She's got to be his great fucking grandmother. She's drawn like a prune with white hair all the time. Like, what is wrong with this lady? Aunt May, how old was your mother, Peter? Like, or if she was the aunt, was she like 76 when your mother was born? That's what the difference is? Like, your mom died at 25 and her older sister was 79?
I always figured, when I was growing up, that was his mother's aunt, and that's why. Like you said, great aunt.
That would make a lot more sense. I mean, I know times were different back then, and maybe they were having kids at very during the wartime, like have one kid go to war for several years, come back, have another kid 15 years later. But like Aunt May is still past the 15-year mark. She's so old. So yeah, having Marissa Tomei,
so old.
you know, and then they eased it off during the Andrew Garfield ones. They brought Sally Field in, who, you know, Sally Field's probably in her 60s. So okay, that's a little bit closer, but I have no problem with bringing Marissa Tomei in as, you know, like a 50-year-old Aunt May, because at least logistically it makes more sense than any of these other ones we've had so far. That comes out on July 7th, and that's going to make a lot of money. Whether we want to see it, whether we think it looks good, that's going to make a shit ton of money.
Here's the problem I have with the Spider-Man movies, and this goes back to Andrew Garfield, the British kid.
Yes.
All right. The first one they did was such a cartoon, I might as well just be watching a cartoon. There's so much CGI, and it's so obvious. I don't care anymore. I just don't care. I'm so done with the Spider-Man movies. I'm all done.
Did you enjoy the Raimi ones or no?
I did, up to the third one.
No, the third one was terrible.
It was, and yeah, we all know it.
The second one was great.
The second one was
the octopus
good.
one was great, and the first one was great too.
The first one was awesome. I still think it's arguably one of the best superhero movies ever made.
I would put that in the argument.
Yeah.
I would put the second one in the argument too. I think those two were fantastic.
The second one was very good, but because it comes second.
Oh, so you're saying it can't beat the original?
You can't.
Okay. All right, that's fair. All right, so we're going to jump from July 7th and a superhero movie to June 9th and a whole different type of franchise we're starting. The Universal Monster franchise.
Oh.
So we have... Now, when this first came out, I didn't know that Tom Cruise was in this when I first heard about it. We have The Mummy coming out.
Peter Sin, isn't it?
So we've got The Mummy coming out, and to me, I thought they were doing another Brendan Fraser movie, and then I realized Brendan Fraser's parking cars somewhere in East L.A. He's parking cars for people.
He's parking cars for Oded Fair.
For Oded Fair, yeah. Oded Fair and Rachel Weisz. The new Mummy is Universal has just this is a trend that the Marvel movies have started. The Marvel universe is a tight universe, and you have all these characters involved in it. DC has tried it as well; it doesn't work as well there. But these other companies are trying their hand at it. One company that's doing it is I don't remember, Legendary. They did Godzilla a few years ago. They just did Kong Skull Island, and they've alluded in Kong Skull Island. They allude to Rodan and Mothra and all that stuff, and they're saying they're going to make these movies and they're going to lead up to a Godzilla vs. King Kong. The Universal monsters, which we know are Frankenstein and the Mummy and Dracula, Werewolf, Wolfman, they're going to start doing these. Wolfman. This
Teen Wolf
3. The Mummy is the first of them. Tom Cruise plays Tom Cruise, who apparently
Tom Cruise is his real name.
Tom Cruise is his real name, and Tom Cruise plays Tom Cruise, Dr. Tom Cruise, paging Dr. Tom Cruise, who ends up on his basically battling against a curse of a Egyptian. I do like this actress. I don't remember her name, Sophia Botella. She was in Kingsman. She was the legs, the blade legs, yeah. And she was in Star Trek Beyond.
She was
white their ally there.
Yeah, she was good.
She was good, and I think I gotta be honest.
Because of her appearance in Kings, I actually looked up her career at one point to see what other movies she was in.
Yeah.
Because I knew I had seen her somewhere before, and it was some other genre style movie,
right.
Science fiction or something like that.
I like her.
She's good.
Yeah,
she's very good. So
I like her, and I've got to be honest. Out of a lot of these bigger budget trailers, this one probably intrigues me more than any of the others.
Except it's Tom Cruise.
I don't mind Tom Cruise. One of the things that I've noticed about Tom Cruise, though, when I paid attention to this, especially with the whole franchise thing, is have you ever seen an actor at this point in their career? He's like a franchise whore all of a sudden. Mission Impossible, Jack Reacher.
Well, how many ex-wives has he got? How many kids?
How many Scientology buildings does he have to build?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's in
the contract.
In the Mummy,
he's got to be funneled to Scientology.
In the Mummy, he plays our intrepid hero who ends up on the wrong side of a mummy curse. Russell Crowe is in the trailer, and I read on IMDb or somewhere that he plays Dr. Henry Jekyll, which is going to probably be obviously one of the threads into the other movies. This one I'm probably going to go see. I'm interested in it. I know you're looking at me like I'm fucking crazy, but
I don't know.
The trailer didn't look bad, right? I mean, the CGI looked pretty good.
For everyone that this isn't a spoiler or anything, but for the movie, it's not a period piece. It's set in the here and now.
Yes.
So that's a big change from at least from the Fraser movies, which I thought were great as period pieces.
The first one was great.
I loved the second one.
The second one,
see, I loved it
until that end with the worst CGI Scorpion.
Oh sure, yeah. I mean, what are you gonna do though?
The Rock looks like someone's kid with a crayon drew him and
giving his snarl. And
that was just terrible.
It was bad, yeah.
Terrible.
But
and the third one,
the third
one was a case. I saw the third one. The third one was a case, like we talked about before, of a sequel coming way too late.
Yeah,
because you had probably like 99 and like say 2001 for the first two movies, and then that third one was like 2008. And they replaced Rachel Weisz. It was I can't think of her name, but it was another name actress.
And the kid was played by somebody else.
The kid was an adult at that point. Yeah. He was their adult son. They got John Hannah back, who played the uncle, but it was Jet Li was. It's just Chinese mummies and Brendan Fraser after that never did anything else, I think.
Which is too bad. I actually had a story plot where I could bring that whole franchise into the here and now too, but nobody wanted to hear it.
Look at you writing I want to read your treatment.
I liked his character in those movies.
Rick O'Connell? Was it Rick O'Connell? Yeah.
I just liked him. Here's the thing. The reason I really liked that first movie with him in it as the Mummy.
And Arnold Vosloo.
I liked Arnold Vosloo.
Yeah.
I've gone on to see him in a number of other
things.
Yeah,
no, he's good. He's a good heavy.
Oded Fair. I mean, another guy. Yeah. He's just great character.
I totally agree that first movie is really good.
It is really good. And it's where I was looking for that style of hero in the movies, where it wasn't a guy that was afraid of anything. He wasn't going to run from anything.
Right.
He was willing to face it. When in the movie he's like packing up and getting ready to go. He's like, I can't do anything about this. What do you want me to do?
Right.
But when the chips come, there's that point where he picks the cat up and puts it right into the mummy's face. I mean, who has that kind of thought act?
I've got to be honest.
So the mummy screams at him in the first scene where he sees the mummy face to face, and the mummy screams at him, and he screams right back at him.
It's been so long. I've got the DVD back there. I'll have to watch it again.
It's funny and weird and goofy and just good action.
No, I agree.
And it was CGI stuff that was way ahead of its time.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things that I thought was funny in this trailer. Maybe it was meant as an homage, but there's the one scene in the trailer that's a direct ripoff from the Arnold Vosloo Mummy. He does the thing, and the sand turns into the face. They did that in this trailer as well, because that was from.
Well, it was a great image.
It was a great image, but it's like it calls it in this trailer. It calls you right back to the Brendan Fraser thing.
But I mean, the movie just from the trailer alone is so different.
Yes.
So.
It's definitely not in the same universe, and I'm interested in it, and I'm interested. I'm going to go back and rewatch The Mummy, because I really when that came out, I really enjoyed that.
I watched the first two, back and back, quite a bit.
I could probably get 3/4 of the way through the second one, and
it's one of those ones that you think you're going to hate the kid actor, and you end up actually liking him.
I do remember the kid being good. I remember what was his name? Oh, on the train, right?
That's your buddy.
Adewale Akin, Mr. Echo. Yeah, I named my dog after that character.
It's good. Okay.
All right. So The Mummy, that comes out on June 9th. So
if you like Tom Cruise,
you're going
to see Tom Cruise get smacked around a lot. That's a movie to see.
All right. Here we're going to pick one now that
he's starting to get up there though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He looked good in that trailer though. I mean, he's got his shirt off in one scene. And he looks better than you or me do.
Well, he's also about 4 feet shorter than either of us.
He's tiny. He's tiny.
Tiny man.
All right, another. Well,
tiny
again,
man in a large coat.
Fat guy in a little coat. We did talk about. You're absolutely right. We've almost talked about nothing original.
I told you.
Yeah. Again,
you were what, 6 movies in, and I was like, these are all sequels and all prequels and all remakes.
Well, we're not talking about every movie here, and this doesn't have every movie coming out. But let me read you the first page, and you're going to notice something about every movie. There, none of them are. So we talked about Guardians of the Galaxy, Diary of a Wimpy Kid: The Long Haul. That's got to be at least the 4th movie in that series. Those are children's books, but that's been going for a long time.
Really?
We'll talk about Alien Covenant. That's. Pirates of the Caribbean 5. We'll talk about that.
5.
Cars 3.
Really? Another one?
Transformers: The Last Night. Despicable Me 3. Yeah. And then the last one on it is Amityville: The Awakening.
Really?
Yes. So this first page on this list that I got off the internet of Summer Movies 2017, there's nothing.
I was just down in Amityville.
There's nothing original. And actually, when you go to the next page...
Or Amity.
There's the only original thing on the next page that's not a remake or a reboot or a sequel is the Emoji Movie. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, and when I saw The Boss Baby with my buddy's kids, there was a preview for that.
The Emoji Movie.
Patrick Stewart plays the shit emoji. They have the poop emoji, and it's Patrick Stewart. Yeah, I have a feeling this is going to be a hit amongst the kids at the very least. And as best as I could tell, I could be wrong. I'll have to look it up on the IMDb.
Was it that you saw the prequel?
The preview, yes. Yeah.
So you saw the preview.
Yep.
Was it better than Pixel?
Oof. I saw Pixels.
So did I.
I don't know. Pixels was rough. Pixels had some good moments, but it was rough. Peter Dinklage was good in that movie.
Pixels almost, for me, seemed like it was ripped off from the TV series Chuck for a single episode.
What, was there an episode about that in Chuck, or?
Something similar to that, yeah.
I saw the first season of Chuck, and I really enjoyed it. And I think I own like 2 and 3, and I've just never gotten around to it.
That's one I haven't finished either. But
I'll tell you, this is a quick segue into Chuck.
We're really jumping around.
We're jumping around, but that's all right. That's what this show's about. I had gotten it for Christmas or something, so I'm like, I'm going to watch the first season. Or I think my buddy Lou let me borrow it because he loved that show. But the first 4 or 5 episodes, the character of Morgan,
yep,
he made me not want to watch the show. I actually hated that character.
I can see that.
Hated. Yeah. I would watch the show, and every time he'd pop up, and I give the actor credit because by the time the first season ended, I was endeared to that character.
Right.
But about the first 5 or 6 episodes, every time I turn it on, and that character, it was like the C-3PO reaction. I'm not a fan of C-3PO, and whenever he pops up somewhere,
I'd like to see my red arm.
Well, Master Poe Dameron, would you like to see my red arm? Like, shut the fuck up, 3PO. This goddamn character for 40 years has been torturing me with his bullshit. But the character Morgan, and then I don't know who the actor's name was, but he turned it around and made me enjoy that. And I like that show. So
it's a good show.
All right. So we mentioned these two. We'll go 2 in a row here because we already talked about them for a second. May 26th, Pirates of the Caribbean. Dead Men Tell No Tales. Well, you're snoring. I thought you thought this looked good.
Oh, no. Sorry. Were you still talking?
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Where's your ship? Where's your crew? Where are your pants?
What?
I know you are. I'm a big fan of the first 3 movies.
Yep.
I hated the 4th. I
did not.
I don't know if there's a franchise that I love so much that one movie left me so cold on. I hated the 4th movie.
I didn't hate it.
And this trailer gives me hope that we're going back to at least the first one, and maybe the feeling of all the first 3.
Maybe a little too close with.
The ghost pirates and
not
the
even
ghost.
that.
They're not even pirates, but
the girl and the whatever.
Yeah,
it's just another version of what are their names there?
Elizabeth Swann and
that's right.
Orlando Bloom. Elizabeth Swann and Legolas. Legolas, use your bow.
Legolas, what do your elf eyes see?
What do your elf eyes see? Wrong movie. Will Turner. Will Turner.
Yeah. I used to call her Elizabeth Turner all the time.
Well, they did marry, right? Didn't they marry? Yeah. Eventually? Yeah. I don't know. I could be wrong, but from the trailers, and I don't know this, but I guarantee the kid is the son, if they haven't said it already. The kid in the movie.
Far down the line, really?
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to figure. I'm pretty sure they've said that Orlando Bloom's going to be in this movie. And for that to happen, it has to be like 10 years every time, right?
Yeah,
before you come back.
Yeah.
So there's going to be some time passage. Yeah. So I have a feeling that kid's going to end up being...
You obviously saw that there was at least some years of time passed between the 3rd and the 4th movie.
Yes.
With what happened to Barbossa. So.
Can you explain to me what happened to Barbossa in that? How did they...
like that.
What did they do? How did they get him from... Right, because he was dead. Right, he was technically like I know they brought him back in the second one.
Yeah.
But they changed him... I've only seen the 4th one once. I hated it. I won't see it again. They changed him from a pirate to a privateer, right? He
became a privateer working for the Crown.
Right. And then by the end of the movie, did he go back to being a pirate again?
Hard to say.
Because they refer to something in the trailer for the 5th one as well, with the pearl in a glass bottle.
Yeah, because that was in the 4th movie.
Okay, because I don't remember plot points in the 4th movie because I just want to flush it out of my fucking head. Okay, so the pearl somehow got shrunk and put into a glass bottle.
Yeah, that's what Blackbeard was doing. He was putting all the ships in the little bottles.
Okay.
No, you missed that.
I saw it 5 years ago, and during the mermaid attack sequence, just said, what are they doing? This is such garbage.
Sexy mermaids.
Yeah, sexy mermaids with their siren calls. This movie gives me hope. They're also hyping it up. They did in the trailer as the final adventure, which I'm fine with. Yeah, it says the final adventure, and I read somewhere they're saying this is the last one.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
That's too bad. I wouldn't mind another one.
me, in all honesty, I'm okay with the ending. If they could do a quality one again, if this turns out to be quality, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, but I read a comic book series based on it. I should say it's an original series based on the Pirates of the Caribbean plot device anyway. And it's set between the first and the second movie.
Really?
Yep.
Who published that?
Joe's Comics out of Canada.
How does Joe's Comics out of Canada get the license for Pirates of the Caribbean?
They have all the Disney licenses for all their crazy silliness like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Cars. But you don't think that would happen now, though? Marvel would probably chomp that up, right?
No, it's happening now.
Really?
This is now. Being published now.
Really? Yeah. I did read recently, and this was surprising to me. And
what happened to then?
I forget the company, but I think IDW is going to be publishing a Star Wars book.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Marvel is outsourcing.
They're smart. They're making. It doesn't matter. Just make more money.
Yeah, that's all. I don't know. I can't quite figure it out either. I think there was an article written somewhere that Marvel is looking at all of their comic book and genre stuff as nothing more than what it is.
Whores.
Yeah.
Pimping out them whores.
It's just marketing.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to it.
Right.
So
hey, wherever they can make the most money.
Hey, I can say that the comic was good.
Was it really?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Miniseries?
Yep, 4 issues.
Collected in trade, do you know?
Not yet.
I'll have to check it out. I do want to say one more thing about Pirates of the Caribbean 5. I'm going to actually go say about the first one. I've been to a lot of movies. There's never been a movie, I think, in my movie-going experience that I went to see with less expectation and walked out of the theater loving more than Pirates of the Caribbean, the original.
The original.
I went to see that with a friend of mine, and we just went out to go see a movie. And I remember seeing the previews and thinking, pirate movie, whatever, Johnny Depp, whatever. What a movie. An experience, beyond experiences.
I kicked myself for not going to see it.
You didn't see that in the theater?
I did not. I refused on the grounds that it is a ride.
Wait, were you burned by the Haunted Mansion movie prior to that?
No, not even that. I just was like, who the hell? Clue worked because they took a board game, and turned it into something else. You can only do that a couple of times,
right?
And you're not going to be able to do that with a physical entertainment amusement park ride.
I agree that it's a stretch.
Well, they did. And I was
they absolutely did. And
I was totally chagrined. Now, of course, the Haunted Mansion didn't quite work as well.
I know you enjoyed all the movies, but there was a lot of people who loved the first one and felt the second two were not very good. I felt the second two were, where the Matrix could have stopped at one, and they really just fucking shit the bed with the next two.
It's going to be rebooted anyway.
Pirates of the Caribbean 2 and 3 work as such a good one movie experience in a way. The story just kind of mashed,
all three of them can be watched back to back. I mean, yes, there's a definite divide between the first and the second.
Right.
And
that's where I felt there was a problem with the fourth one was the first three movies.
It's a huge divide.
The first three movies, Jack Sparrow is a secondary character, tertiary character.
Yep.
You're focusing on Legolas. What do your eyes see? You're focusing on Legolas and Domino.
Elizabeth Swan.
And then by the fourth movie, he is like the main character.
Yeah.
And you realize that he's
not very good as main character.
He's not good as main character. He's meant to be taking in small doses.
Yeah.
Delicious, wonderful, funny small doses, but...
Well, that's why I was hoping that some of the other secondary characters would fill in the gap, but they didn't.
Yeah. Gibbs. I like Gibbs.
Gibbs is great. Marty,
the little guy, yeah. Great series, except for part 4. So... I will not back down on that. May 19th, okay, because we're again at another Alien Covenant. I'm a huge Alien fan. Alien and Aliens are two of my favorite movies of all time. I even like Alien 3. I don't like Alien 4. I don't care for the Predator versus Alien movies.
I see what it is now. It's
what?
The fourth movie in a series. You just don't like
No. Most people don't like the third. I like the third. I think the third had, especially the director's cut, has some good stuff in it. About 5 years ago, they made a prequel, which was never necessary, to Alien, featuring some of the dumbest fucking characters of all time, called Prometheus. Prometheus, we discussed this earlier today with a gentleman at a Comic-Con we were at. Prometheus is the best-looking bad movie of all time. I mean, it looks great. Ridley Scott, made it. The sets are great. The effects are great. And you got the...
Charlize
Theron is great in it, and it just has a bunch of stupid characters. The space botanist who has no problem petting a space cobra. oh, look at that cute little cobra, and it ends up in his suit and down his throat, and stupidest people ever in this movie. So now Prometheus ends, and
we were all happy.
We were all happy. The android David, played by Michael Fassbender, who I love, and the main character Noomi Rapace, is that her name? The one from the
is that the actress?
The actress, yeah. She was from she was in the Swedish versions of the girl with the flaming ball sack or whatever it's called. Her and David take off on a ship to find the engineer's world. And so now we have a sequel to Prometheus, but still a prequel to Alien.
And isn't there supposed to be a Prometheus direct sequel with those same characters?
No, because they all died.
No.
Except, well, he's in this. Michael Fassbender's in this playing, I think, 2 characters. He's playing 2 different androids.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Yeah. Again, I'll be the first to say, this one here, because just this is my idiocy, I will go see. Because I love Alien. I've got friends that are Alien fans, and we'll end up going to see this. It'll probably suck.
You do realize that as we were watching it, it looked exactly like the same storyline as Prometheus.
It looked more Alien than at least there was an alien in this one.
It looked more Alien, yeah.
I will give Prometheus credit for one thing.
Something happened here. Yeah. Something happened. Yeah. It's coming out of the thing again.
Yeah, well, I do.
You're gonna pet it. You're gonna pet it.
I do like how in the Alien movies, whenever one of those eggs opens up, everybody's first instinct is to put their head right over the fucking thing. I got to be honest with you. If there's a giant, leathery, slimy, pulsating, translucent egg, and it hatches in front of me, I'm on the other fucking side of the room as fast as possible. And if you're over there, I'm gonna go, dude, get away from it. Meanwhile, everybody in the Alienverse goes, what's in there? And then they end up with the space vagina on their mouth, and it's just terrifying.
What's in there?
What's in the box? What's in the box?
I can see you.
Candy cane. Was she a great big fat person? These are our 25-year-old Silence of the Lambs callbacks.
Oh God, you got to be a fan.
All right,
someone out there is going, "What are these 2 guys talking about?"
I shouldn't have started the show halfway through. This is the kind of show I need to read the prequels for and see the prequels.
Somebody said something about Scientology, so
yeah, I'm going to use that as a tag to trick people to listening to this.
Hashtag Scientology.
Oh, Scientology. What's that? Beck will listen to it. Oh, Scientology. I read a song about this podcast. And they'll be like, what are these fucking nerds talking about?
Pint of comics.
All right. Oh, May 25th is a big day. May 25th is a big day for you, John, because one of your favorite shows from the 90s has been translated into a television show.
Cheers?
Nope. I'm going to give you a musical hit. I'm going to sing, and I know my singing's terrible, so I'm going to step away from the mic. Here's the theme song. I'll be there. Do you remember that? Sung by a certain D.H.
Wait, do it again.
I'll be there. I'll be there.
Do it again.
No, I'm not doing it again. That's David Hasselhoff. That's the Baywatch theme.
That's the Hoff.
And we're going to be singing
No, we are not going to.
You know what? I think that me and you should go see Baywatch.
Oh, God.
And do a review.
Then I'm going to... We're going to have some pocket drinks.
Okay, that's fine.
There's no way I can
I got a flask years ago. I've never used it. Yeah. Someone gave it to me.
Time to break the virginity on the Baywatch movie.
We'll pop my flask cherry at the Baywatch film. Baywatch, a couple things I noticed from the trailer. They're going they're going along the route of Starsky and Hutch from a few years ago and 21 Jump Street, where they're taking a What? Well, that's what they're doing. Chips. They recently did a Chips remake.
Yeah, and look how that one tanked.
That's what I'm saying. They're doing the same thing. They're taking I guess what you could say was a serious premised show. Baywatch wasn't played for laughs.
No.
But you can't translate that into a movie. And it looks like the plot is there's like some new drug dealer on the beach who owns half the property on the beach, and the Baywatch guys are going to figure this out. Dwayne Johnson is no longer billed as Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, apparently. He's just Dwayne Johnson.
And are there any other people in this movie that you recognize?
Zac Efron.
Which one was he?
He is the younger hunk dude who, I've got to admit.
One wearing the pink shirt the whole time?
I think so, yeah.
What's he been in?
He was the Disney, he was in the High School Musicals.
Oh, okay.
And then he was in, did you see Neighbors? Did you see Neighbors?
I did not see Neighbors.
It was actually pretty funny. The Neighbors movies, both of them, were actually pretty funny. Right. And this is going to sound as homosexual as possible, but he is. Wow. He's a beefcake. He's all muscle, and
that's his own.
He's all oily and all greasy, and He smells just the right kind of right, and when you bump into him, he's soft in all the right places and hard in all the right places. And no Pamela Anderson Lee.
No,
because she's turned into a bag of flour somewhere in Kid Rock's closet.
Isn't she catching or something? I mean, she's got like Hep C.
Oh yeah, she
can't breathe on anyone.
She's in Tommy Lee's well in his basement. He yells at her. He gives her food once a day, and he says stuff like, "Put lotion on skin." There was one time that she got a hold of Tommy Lee's dog named Precious, and he really freaked out. She said, "You don't let me out of here, mister. I'm going to kill this dog." And he went, "Don't you fucking touch her, you bitch." "Don't you fucking touch her. I'll fucking kill you." So that's what happened there. So that's the Baywatch movie. And yeah, sorry, Ted Levine. I really love your work. So that's the Baywatch movie. And here's a question, okay, because this is the kind of movie that makes me wonder. Do you think Baywatch is going to be a hit?
No.
You don't think so? Because a lot of times, like 21...
I don't know what they spent on it either.
Yeah,
so,
well, no, but I mean, even not talking about cost versus...
regardless,
do you think it's going to make like $100 million?
No.
No, okay, all right. June 2nd. And you equated this earlier today to last year's Star Trek Beyond, which Star Trek Beyond came out in the 50th anniversary of Star Trek
without
any fanfare.
Yeah, no.
Any fanfare. And you equated this next movie to that, Wonder Woman.
Yes, that would be Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman, until I printed this list out, I thought Wonder Woman was like a Christmas time movie.
I actually did too. I thought it was going to come out sometime in December.
June 2nd.
Yeah.
But the trailer to me looked pretty good.
Sure. And when did that trailer come out? A week ago?
No, that's older.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like maybe a month.
Still, I haven't seen any television ads or anything.
No. Well, I see for
radio.
I don't have television anymore. I cut the cable.
No, I don't either, but
No, I agree. It's not like the word of mouth is not out there.
Ooh.
And it's sad because you talk about Suicide Squad, you talk about Batman vs Superman. Suicide Squad was a passable movie. Batman vs Superman was a flaming turd.
Passable. Wow. I wouldn't even go that far.
It was watchable. It was watchable to me. Wonder Woman actually looks like it could be a good movie.
It could be.
It looks well made. I have no problem with her as Wonder Woman. A lot of people were like, she's too skinny, she's too that. She's beautiful, and she
pulled it off in the Batman Superman movie, which is saying something.
Yes.
That total mess.
Yes, and she's got Chris Pine to lean on. He's there to be the man. He's there to be.
I think it's the other way around, honestly, because his career really hasn't gone that far.
No. He's definitely.
He hasn't been able to equate Captain Kirk into anything else.
No, he hasn't capitalized on that at all. When that first Star Trek movie came out, I figured we're going to see this doing a lot of stuff, and so far he was in that train movie with Denzel Washington. Unstoppable or whatever it was called.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a forgettable movie.
Yeah, it is. And he was in I never saw it. He was the 15th actor to play Jack Ryan.
Yeah, I saw it.
The Origin. I didn't see that. And good, bad, ugly.
Forgettable.
Forgettable
is I'm going to keep using that word because I'm trying to remember the plot.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
Jack Ryan Shadow Agent or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was Shadow Agent, and just
they're not and they won't give up on that character. I just recently read that
was the prequel?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's him being recruited into the agency. Yeah, that's the plot.
They will not give up on that character because I just recently read that either Hulu or Amazon is doing an original Jack Ryan series starring what was his name from The Office?
Oded Fair.
No, not Adewale Chiwetel Ejiofor. No, from The Office, Jim. What was Jim's name?
Jim Halpert.
Not Jim Halpert, John Krasinski. He's now going to play Jack Ryan.
He's going to beef up and be Jack Ryan.
He's going to beef up and be Jack Ryan, and the whole show is going to be about how he falls in love with the secretary, and you wait the first 2 or 3 seasons for them to actually go out on a date. It's going to be fantastic.
It's going to be Pam Beesly.
Pam Beesly. I love Pam Beesly. I like Jenna Fisher. She doesn't seem to do much either after that.
I saw her in Bustier.
Didn't you see her in Bustier in?
It was a really bad movie.
Yeah.
She didn't move much.
No,
she just kind of like
kept it still.
Yeah.
She was married. I don't know if you know this or not. She was married. She's divorced from James Gunn.
Yeah.
So.
And they have a kid or 2.
And she doesn't get any of that Guardians money though. Well, maybe she does. Maybe it's an alimony thing.
I don't know.
She hit the jackpot. I'll marry some dude that writes Guardians of the Galaxy. I got no problem with that.
You know what it is? She's over 40 now, so
that's fine.
Wants to hire her.
That might be true.
That's Hollywood.
That's Hollywood. That's too bad. She really didn't do a whole lot other than The Office anyway, though.
Nah, you just got to keep looking.
Yeah, I really like The Office. That was a funny show.
That was fun.
I like Kevin.
John Krasinski.
Gets us
into The Office.
Yeah.
Jack Ryan.
John Krasinski's our back door to the office. Hey, we can start talking about Silence of the Lambs again.
Speaking of Wonder Woman.
Yeah, back to Wonder Woman.
Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot. Israeli Special Forces at one point. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she really can kick some ass. And she's good looking. She was a model, and she doesn't seem to be a bad actress. She was in a couple of the Fast and the Furious movies. She was one of the Fast and the Furious, if I remember correctly. I don't know if I'm going to go see Wonder Woman. It doesn't look bad.
I probably will, just to get mad.
All right, I'll go with you.
You know.
All right, you tell me when you're going. All right, so we've covered all. Oh, here's one. July 14th, again, unoriginal, but the third movie in a series that I've seen none in. And I got to be honest, they all look good. I just haven't sat down and watched any of them yet. It's the War for the Planet of the Apes.
Oh.
So we had the Rise of, then we had the Dawn of, and now we have the War for, or the War of. This is
with an angry Woody Harrelson.
I was gonna say, in a nutshell, it's Mickey from Mickey and Mallory, Natural Born Killers versus Andy Serkis as an ape. That's what it looks like.
It's still Andy Serkis.
Yeah. Yep. Andy Serkis he's gonna play that ape until they make the last one.
Until he doesn't fit into the spandex anymore.
Oh no! His little ball suit, his little ball suit that he wears. The movie looks good, but I haven't seen the first two. I'll check the first two out.
They rock the money though.
I'll be honest, this is going to sound dumb. I avoided the first movie because I remember that was James Franco, and I remember people telling me how like the plot was that Caesar was, as they were raising him, the other chimps abused him and all that stuff. And I hate shit like that in movies. I'm an animal lover. I get emotional with stuff like that. And I don't want to see like an animal getting hurt. And that's part of it too, is even if you want to consider the apes the bad guys in these movies, I know they fight the humans. I don't want to see apes getting shot and dying sad deaths. I still am not over the Ewok dying. You know when the Ewok's dead and the other Ewok like goes to get him up and he's like just rolls over and the Ewok's like, I'm still not over that. So I don't really know if I want to see these ape war movies where a bunch of apes that are probably cute CGI apes. I am a pussy. I'm putting it out there.
CGI apes, for crying out loud.
I know they are, but I've got I've got a heart.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We got a good one here. We got a good one, but before we get to a good one, we're gonna get to what may have been what I think was the worst trailer we saw. And I wasn't going to include this, but I went, I'm including big blockbusters, I'm including sci-fi, all this stuff. Rough Night, starring Scarlett Johansson and a bunch of comedy actress chicks like Kate McKinnon from Saturday Night Live. And basically, it's about a girls' night out that goes wrong. And from what I could tell from the preview, it just looks like it's less of a dark comedy version and more of a ha-ha comedy version.
What do we call it? A melding of Weekend at Bernie's
and Very Bad Things.
Yeah.
Very Bad Things, which if you've never seen, is a really funny movie. And it's really good, but it's really dark. Peter Berg, I think, made that. And it was Jon Favreau and Daniel Stern and Jeremy Piven.
Yeah.
And it's a bunch of guys that go out for a bachelor party and accidentally kill the hooker. They slam her up against a coat rack, and it impales her brain. This movie appears to be the same idea.
That's okay, but shooting a CGI ape.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with accidentally murdering a hooker. I just don't like CGI apes when they die. This one just looks like the same thing, except one of the heavier women jumps on a stripper's lap and kills him somehow.
I wanted to comment on the fact that the one larger woman is the one that actually kills him by jumping in his lap.
Yeah.
Wow, is that going to go over well?
Yeah. Yeah, Scarlett Johansson makes a lot of bad choices with movies. She chose to play
her hair, so that was bad.
She chose to piss every Asian actress off in the world by playing the Ghost in the Shell character, whitewashing that character, and now she's gonna.
Is that even in the top 10 now?
No, I think that thing disappeared quick. Didn't look good either. I've never seen Ghost in the Shell, the manga, or
I heard
the
it
anime.
Wasn't that bad, but
she pissed a lot of people off with that, and now in her new movie, fat chicks kill guys by jumping in their laps. So I don't think any.
She a fat chick.
I think I know what you're talking about. Was she a great big fat person? So that trailer looked terrible. Rough Night, in case you're curious, comes out June 16th. At that point, instead of seeing Rough Night, go see Transformers again, because you might be in a better shape. The last three we have are kind of quieter, but two of them look really good to me. One of them is interesting. The one that's interesting, and I only added this in because I remembered it from another time that John had mentioned he really liked the original. It's a remake. It's a remake of a Clint Eastwood movie, and it was actually made by Sofia Coppola, the daughter of Francis Ford Coppola, The Beguiled. starring Nicole Kidman, Kirsten Dunst, and Colin Farrell. And tell us what the original was about. The trailer is pretty cut and dry.
Yeah,
but it
pretty much informs you what's going on in the movie, too.
Yeah.
I mean, they leave out the details, and I won't go into the details in case you're interested in seeing the movie. But the original is essentially a Civil War soldier, a Union soldier, is behind enemy lines and is located by a house of all women, young women.
I had a dream like this once.
Yeah, and he's nursed back to health by these women, and while he's there, he gets emotionally involved with. Actually, I shouldn't even say emotionally. I should just say physically involved with at least one of them, causing jealousy amongst the women in the house. To the point where they do bad things to him to try and bring him back to the realm of God.
Oof, they don't misery him, do they?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
But in a worse way.
In the trailer's ambiguous, but they're doing stuff to him.
Yeah, they do some bad things to him, and he then becomes impassioned to get out of the house as quick as possible and does everything he can. It's all a head game. Would you almost categorize this as a horror movie? It is a horror movie in strange ways. It's a freaking psychological horror movie.
Now, being a fan of the original, did the trailer? I know you won't go see it, but did it make you want to see it?
It does in a way, but it looks identical.
Yeah.
So what's the point?
Yeah.
I'd rather see Clint Eastwood with his perfect '70s hair, and that's. He has perfect hair in that movie. It's Dirty Harry Callahan with a pompadour.
Really?
That's how big his hair is in this movie.
Really? Yeah. I'm going to have to check that out.
You have to see it.
I'm curious about this one. I won't go see this in the theater, but...
And the worst part is I can't remember the women the women actresses for the original. I don't remember who played the characters, and they were impeccable. They really turn on the crazy.
They look crazy in this one too, but
they do.
But I'm definitely curious about that. Now we got two more movies. I didn't purposely save them for end, but these two actually intrigue me quite a bit. Dunkirk, yeah. Christopher Nolan's newest movie. Christopher Nolan, who made the Dark Knight trilogy, he made Insomnia, which is one people don't talk about a lot. That was a good movie with Al Pacino and Robin Williams. He's most known for Inception and his last movie, which I really loved, Interstellar. He did Interstellar, which was great. Dunkirk is his World War II
and I'm
picture.
guessing this is a true story. I mean, I know Dunkirk was a true event, but whether or not it was he's following true people or actual events
based on a true event.
Yeah.
We don't know if it's basically
how historically
accurate it is, but it looks good. Kenneth Branagh and Cillian Murphy and
Kenneth Branagh is always good.
Yeah, so. He's always good. And what you know the story. You knew the story more than I did in terms of what happened in this battle. Or
it's the Allied forces at the time, which were the English and some of the French, but basically it's the English being pushed out of France by the Germans, and they get to a point in Dunkirk where they've got to cross across the English Channel, and they've got no ships there, and they're pinned down.
They're getting bombarded by planes.
They're just getting shot to pieces as they're trying to leave. Civilians come out in droves in their own ships to help them get off the beach and back home.
So the civilians basically are risking life and limb.
There was a civilian flotilla put together. Yeah, it was. It's an amazing feat. It's just what they did to get as many of the soldiers off the beach as possible, and a lot of them got left behind. Historically
accurate numbers are close to. They said there's 400,000 guys on the beach. Mm-hmm. So how you're going to get 400,000 guys across the channel?
Yeah.
But you get who you can get off. I'm totally curious about reading about this story now, and I probably will go see that in the theaters because Christopher Nolan, whether you like him or not, he's definitely an interesting filmmaker.
Yep.
He's made, again, there's the Prestige. Have you ever seen The Prestige? I love that. With Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale as the two magicians going against each other.
I haven't seen that, no.
That's a great movie. And Memento.
Well, Memento's good, yeah.
Memento
one of his earliest movies.
Yeah, it's such a good movie. I don't think he's ever made a bad movie. The Dark Knight 3, was there issues with it? Sure. But you know what? It's still, it did things that I never saw before in a Batman story. It gave Bruce Wayne an ending. You're never going to see that in the comic books. 100 years after me and you were dead, Bruce Wayne's still going to be fighting. I was born in the dark. he did make the interesting choice to make Bane sound like the Monopoly Man.
Batman, I'm here in Gotham now for you, Batman. Yes, I can see you. Candyman. When I come back, then you get permission to die.
Yeah, that actually sounds really good.
You like that?
Yeah.
When I come back, then I'll give you permission to die. I was born in the dark. You merely adopted it.
Now you sound like...
Now I sound like what?
You sound like a creeper.
It puts the lotion in the bucket, Bruce.
Okay, so final movie, and this is the one.
Nails, Batman.
Final movie on the list, and this is the first time I saw this trailer fully. I saw a little bit of it before. Edgar Wright, the director of the Cornetto trilogy, Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead, The World's End, which all are great movies. He also made another movie he made that I thought was great, with Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. I've never read that comic, could care less about it. The movie is awesome. Baby Driver. You didn't like Scott Pilgrim? I love Scott Pilgrim.
I didn't see the movie. I don't like the source material.
Okay, so. The movie was. I think this guy's got an eye. I think he's. He was the guy who was originally going to do Ant-Man. Yep. I enjoyed Ant-Man. It would have been better if he had done it. Baby Driver is
looks good.
Looks good. It's basically a young guy who is a incredible getaway driver. He works for Kevin Spacey's mob boss character. Jamie Foxx is in it, playing a psychopath, and Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers is in it. Apparently,
notice though. I mean. The guy that's playing Baby Driver, whoever he is so much younger than everybody else.
Well, he's like, I think he's playing a kid.
But look, just the imagery of, like, Jamie Foxx looks ancient.
Yes, yeah.
Kevin Spacey
really
looks ancient.
Yeah.
I mean, they all those guys sitting at the table, I'm like, wow, they're so
John Hamm from
faces.
Yeah, John Hamm from Mad Men is one of the guys, and basically the idea is apparently he falls in love with a girl and he wants to get out from under Kevin Spacey's reach, and there's just some really fantastic car stunts in this movie.
Yeah, it's gonna be a visual treat.
And this one comes out on June 28th. I know our mutual friend Brian Whaley is a big Edgar Wright fan, and he was actually telling me about this movie one day. I was talking to him, and he was like, "The one I'm looking forward to the most this summer is Baby Driver." And
really.
Yeah, he's a big fan, and I said to him,
well, he does like Edgar Wright.
He loves Edgar Wright, and I hadn't seen the trailer at that point. I saw a bit of it somewhere, and today was the first. And actually, out of all of these, if I had to pick one, that might be the one that I go see. I want to see Dunkirk too, but in all honesty, Guardians I'll go see, Spider-Man I'll go see. 90% of this stuff I'm not going to see. I'm going to see Spider-Man. I'll take you with me.
I'll buy you a popcorn with extra butter.
Wow.
So,
well, thanks.
Basically, we just wanted to give you guys the
lowdown. Summer.
We wanted to give you the lowdown of what not to look forward to. There's more coming out.
We got all this shit that's coming out.
We didn't include it because I didn't write it down here. We watched the trailer for the Tupac Shakur biopic, All Eyes on Me. Not that I'm not interested in him. I think he's a true rock star and an interesting character. Those movies sometimes they fall flat for me.
The docudramas.
Yeah. They don't always hit me. I heard that the Straight Outta Compton was great. The NWA one, I've never seen it yet. They don't always hit me in the right place. So this movie looks well made. The guy looks just like Tupac. He sounds like him vocally.
No CB4 is what you're saying.
CB4 in the motherfucking house. Shut up and eat your big ass biscuit. You want to play Movie Buff?
Wow. Movie Buff name drop. Oh,
we're gonna do it every episode.
That's right.
Until every one of you buy, or until Justin Purvis actually drives up here and we'll do a show with us. But for now, I think that we wanted to talk about what's coming out in the movies. I think this summer is gonna be. I think how they say, like, maybe it was one summer ago or 2 summers ago that it was one of the worst in a long time.
Yeah, I think
this might be worse than that. I think if it wasn't for Guardians, Spider-Man, and maybe Transformers, I don't know if people are going to really be out there clamoring to see a lot of stuff.
Well, I mean, here's the thing about Transformers. In this country, it's been waning.
Yeah.
But overseas, it has not, and that's why they keep making the damn things. No matter how bad they are, or how long they are, and how long and bad they are, they just keep
those movies.
I can't figure it out, especially after that last one.
Yeah.
There's 4 hours. Two of the smoking a fake cigar as he's a Transformer. She's a Transformer. He's a robot, and he's smoking a fake cigar.
Yeah. No, I'm glad I never saw that. I'm glad I gave up after 3.
But he's Hound.
He's Hound. I gave up when Leonard Nimoy was... who was Leonard Nimoy in the third one? He was the... in
the third one?
He was the Prime. He was the bad Prime.
Oh, that's right, because he had done the animated series movie.
Yeah, he unfortunately he did this movie as well. And what a crap fest that was.
Prime.
Transformers: Dark of the Moon.
It was pretty bad.
Stupid fucking movie. So with that, episode 3.
Fucking movie.
Episode 3 of Pino Comics has been about a lot of movie stuff. We got more.
Aren't you thrilled?
I am thrilled. I think that was a pretty good little rundown. I think some people out there right now are going, you know what? I really want to watch Silence of the Lambs, and I don't know why. I can't get it out of my head.
Like, do you have the touch?
Do you have the
power?
Do you have the power? All right. Well, I'm John.
And I'm John.
See ya.
See ya.